Hey guys, it's Sophie, and in today's video I am going to show and explain my weekly cardio and abs routine. If you're new to my channel, then I would love for you to subscribe so you'll never miss any of my future videos ever again. And then without further ado, let's continue with everything about my cardio. Cardio is often referred to as a tool for fat loss, and that is because with cardio you can increase your activity, and if you keep your intake the same, so if you don't increase your intake, then you will burn more calories and therefore you can lose weight, or more specifically, you can decrease your body fat percentage. However, cardio isn't just a tool for fat loss. Cardio is also really helpful if you want to build your cardiovascular health, and that is exactly why I implement cardio into my weekly life. So the cardio that I do consists of two different parts. The first one is my daily steps. I always have a daily step goal. Reason being is that I really want to make sure that I live a healthy and active lifestyle and that I'm active throughout the day. If you want to start with implementing a daily step goal, then look what you're currently averaging at and then set a goal that is slightly higher so that you challenge yourself on a daily basis. My current daily step goal is between 8 and 10k steps. If I transition into a period where I want to lose weight, then usually my daily step goal is the first factor that I manipulate, and I usually increase my daily step goal then. However, if I'm just chilling at maintenance, which I'm currently doing, then I usually keep my daily step goal between 8 and 10k steps. Sometimes you have those days where even before you start the day, you already know that you will spend most of the day sitting at a desk. If I know that I'll have one of those days, then I'll set my alarm a little bit earlier, I'll make myself a coffee and I'll go to the gym and just get some steps out of the way, and I usually do some cardio for 30 or 45 minutes or so. And as always with cardio, the rule is don't hold on to the treadmill if possible, and if that is too challenging, then decrease the speed or the incline. The second part of my cardio routine that I do in a week has everything to do with high intensity interval training. I try to do this once per week, sometimes twice, but that really depends on my lifting routine. So my main energy is always focused on lifting weights. Depending on what routine I follow, many times a week I plan on lifting weights. I'll adjust my HIIT routine accordingly. HIIT cardio is really intense, and I don't do HIIT whenever I'm lifting weights that day. If I follow a lifting routine that states that I go to the gym 5 times per week, then I cannot add 2 HIIT cardio next to it, because then I'll be training 7 days a week, no rest. That's too much for me. So if I, for example, have a workout routine that is 5 days a week, then I'll usually add 1 HIIT cardio. The first routine that I want to explain are my treadmill sprints. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I get bored really easily if I am on the treadmill. Watching YouTube videos makes it easier, but whenever I'm sprinting, I have a hard time with concentrating on the YouTube video. I basically need to keep changing things up. Whenever I'm doing sprints, I have a few different phases that I go to. I always start with at least 5 minutes of just a slow walk, maybe increase tempo a tiny bit. I don't want to get fatigued. I just want to make sure that I'm warmed up properly. Once those 5 minutes are over, my sprints will start. I'm doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 10 rounds. So that will take 10 minutes. Whenever you are jumping on the treadmill and jumping off the treadmill, please make sure to do it very carefully, because again, we don't want to risk getting injured. If you need some time getting used to it, then start with a lower sprinting speed, or alternatively, instead of jumping on and off, you can increase and decrease the speed of the treadmill. So after those 10 rounds, we've had 15 minutes of cardio, including the warm-up. At that point, I am definitely feeling it. So then it is time for 5 minutes of a bit of an active recovery before transitioning into the next phase. So what I'm doing, I'll spend 5 minutes of walking on an incline. Again, try to walk with no hands. After those 5 minutes are over, I am lowering the machine so it is at no incline, and then I'll do 1 minute of walking, and then I'll do 1 minute of jogging, and then I'll do 1 minute of sprints, and I will do 3 rounds in total. And then once we finished with all of that, the first cardio routine is completely done. So then for the second type of HIIT circuit that I do, instead of doing the treadmill sprints, sometimes I just want to go through the movements that I also do with lifting. So then I'll do a HIIT weight circuit. I'll pick 5 different exercises that I want to do that day, and then I'll perform them for 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. Once I finish those 5 exercises, I'll have a 1-minute break, and then I'll repeat the same little circuit. I try to do 3 or 4 rounds. Pick the exercises that you're most comfortable with. I know some people don't like to jump because of their knees. Some people hate jumping rope. If you need more rest or if you need shorter interval periods, then feel free to adjust. During those high intensity interval periods, you want to make sure that you give it your absolute all, and then you want to take a complete rest during your rest periods. Alrighty, so now that we talked about our cardio, it is time to move on to the part that we've all been waiting for. Let's talk about abs. Having visible abs comes down to multiple factors. One of them is your body fat percentage, another one is your muscular density, and genetics also plays a role in having visible abs. So before going into what I do for abs per week, I first wanted to address those 3 factors, just because I want you to realize that there is more to having visible abs than doing exercises targeting your abs. So I want you to be as efficient as possible. If you want to have visible abs, don't just put a lot of time and effort into doing all your ab exercises, but then feeling demotivated because you don't see any results. Maybe because you have one of the other factors not completely in check. So, you know that they say that abs are made in the kitchen. There's a truth to that saying. There usually is. Abs aren't necessarily made in the kitchen because you obviously train your abs whenever you're doing specific exercises to targeting your abs. However, abs can be revealed in the kitchen through your nutrition. Taking a few steps back, your body fat percentage, as I mentioned before, is really important in having visible abs. Reason being is that if you have a layer of fat tissue covering any muscles, then it's hard for the muscles to pop through. It's hard to see them. They're there, they're just covered with a layer of fat tissue. So this is also where genetics plays a very important role. Some people store their body fat on their abdominal area, which means that they need to have a lower body fat percentage in order for their abs to pop through, compared to someone who doesn't store most of their body fat on their abdominal area. However, muscular density plays an important role as well, and muscular density can be influenced by nutrition, but also by training. So whenever you're training your abs, you want to train them the same as any other muscle group. You want to make sure that you progressively overload them over time, which basically means that you keep making them work harder than they are used to, which forces them to adapt. The more lean mass you have, the more your muscles will be visible. So that is why muscular density plays a factor in having visible abs. Again, there are more factors, but these are very common ones that I think people tend to neglect whenever they are talking about having visible abs. So, enough said about abs. Let's talk about what I do in order to train them. 2 things. There are a few exercises that I am not that great at and that I really want to become better at. And just as with anything in life, the only way to become better at something is to put in the repetitions. So what I'm doing is I'll pop those exercises at the end of my upper body workouts, and I'll just maximize the reps, and I'll usually do 3 sets. So the first exercise that I really want to be better at are the hanging leg raises, and the second exercise that I really want to be better at is the dragonfly, but then obviously progressions. I'll do 1 exercise after my upper body day 1, and then I'll do the other exercise at the end of my upper body day 2, since I currently have 2 upper body days per week. And then additionally, I do 1 abs routine. If you love my ab workouts, then definitely make sure to head over to my Instagram, because I post so many ab workouts there. I love changing up my ab workouts because that just keeps it so fun for me. And obviously progressively overloading is real, and if you want to progressively overload your muscles in the gym, then sticking to the same exercise for a few weeks is easier, because you can use the numbers that you hit your previous session as a benchmark. But that is usually what I do with the dragonfly progression and with the hanging leg raises. The little ab circuit that I currently do once a week, I'll just have fun. So if you want to see more ab workouts, or if you want to see more workouts in general, then make sure to follow me on Instagram. It's at GAINSBYBRAINS. And if you're looking for a structured program, then make sure to click the link in my description box, because you can get my fitness program there, which is a 4-day split and a 5-day split, 15 weeks each. It includes everything you need to know about cardio, about abs, different routines, etc. The only thing that you have to do is stick to it. That's it. and give it your best effort. It's not easy, but it's definitely worth it. Anyways, so with my ab routines, with my little ab circuits, I usually do 3 or 4 exercises, a few sets per exercise. You can do it circuit style so that you perform set 1 of exercise 1, set 1 of exercise 2, set 1 of exercise 3, etc. and then rest. Or you can finish one exercise and then move on to the second one. That is usually what I do, just because I find it easier to really get into that mind-muscle connection. And then both with my cardio and also with my ab workout, I prefer doing it whenever I'm not lifting that day, just because it's very intense and otherwise it's just too much. Alright, so that was it, everything about my weekly abs and cardio routine. Now, if you love this video and if you want to see a video dedicated about my weekly workouts, then I think if we get this video to 10,000 likes, which is crazy, and I know that there are enough people that really want to see it and I don't want to bore you guys, then we can make it work. And in case you're wondering, I'm wearing the Energy Seamless by Gymshark. I actually really like the Energy Seamless for running. It's because I feel like it holds me in a bit and I don't really like to feel too wiggly whenever I'm running. I'm wearing one of the new colors, which will release very, very soon. They just came out with a lot of new items, so if you want to check them out, then I'll make sure to pop my link in the description box down below. And as always, if you decide to shop through it, then thank you so much for your support. It honestly means the absolute world. So that was it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and then I also hope to see you in my next one. Bye guys.